We all want more money, right? As humans, we tell ourselves, if I had this amount of money, then I could buy this. Or, when I get this amount of money, then I can buy this. We are all guilty of wishing we had more money. Money means happiness, right? Wrong. As the wise words from a young poet, Juice WRLD, says, money is happiness, cap. This means that money isn't all that we think it brings. We tell ourselves all the time that life will be more simple if we had more money in our pockets. But how could we do this? Perhaps work more hours, or work more jobs, or even go back to college and get that degree you're working so hard for. No. Some people want to go the easier route, and that means increase minimum wage. It sounds nice, but it's not all that it seems. Hey y'all, I'm Brandon Creed, and I want to tell you guys why President Biden should not pass this minimum wage bill. One of my first reasons is it would not help people in poverty. People say all the time on the news, raising minimum wage would help people get out of the streets and get into good homes. But based on prolonged research, that statement is not the case. According to The Hill, which is a news site that people from the White House read, the author says that hiking minimum wage would not change anything about people who live in poverty. And it says, technically, the author implies that, quote unquote, most people who earn low wages aren't living in poverty. In fact, most live in families earning more than the average U.S. income, end quote. In U.S. families today, you have more than one or two people who have an income, and most people that do live in poverty, they don't even work at all, and 10% of adults in poverty work full time. So 90% don't even work. He also says that raising minimum wage would make it harder for people in poverty to get a job due to the spike in employment. And that goes into my next reason, which is there's no opportunity for the young and the poor. Speaking of employment, raising minimum wage would actually eliminate entry-level job opportunities out there. As it says on The Hill, the author says that raising minimum wage now is not based on the money, but it's based on the skills and experience that you have obtained. To piggyback off my last subpoint and my first point, people in poverty would also have a hard time getting a job because they would need more experience and more skills training to get the higher paying job. Now think of this. If a person is 16 and they're looking for their first job and they cannot get an entry-level job due to the lack of experience they have, then how will they learn? It is an expectancy of organizations have when you apply to the job to set the bar high. And when you do not meet this standard, you're out the door. So it's basically unfair for younger individuals. So now people in the US can't even get a job until they reach 18 or later due to not having the skills developed. And my solutions, I would like to say that maybe we should raise minimum wage to 9 to 10. I do not agree to the $15 raise, but I feel like 9 to 10 would be a moderate amount. Now, there are many other problems in raising the minimum wage, and I could ramble all day about the issues, but I would like to discuss the solutions to maybe figure out how in the world people who disagree and agree could meet in the middle and create change without crises in social and economic aspects. For example, I found a relatively older website that discussed an increase to the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. According to the Economic Policy Institute, or EPI, there were key findings of what could happen if we raised it to $10 an hour. It implies that, quote unquote, an increase to $10.10 would either directly or indirectly raise the wages of 27.8 million workers who would receive $35 billion in additional wages over the phase-in period. In other words, it wouldn't be a big jump if we decided to do increments and make it to $10.10 an hour to start. That is what the state of Iowa and California are planning to pass way back from now. They're still trying to get it passed. By doing this, our government wouldn't be biting off more than it can chew. With this, there's a middle where both parties can find a fine line. I cannot agree on the $15 minimum wage, but I do see a way we could possibly make a start, make a voice to start somewhere small and raise just a hair for now. With this, I want to leave a convincing persuasion on this topic with a way to make a call of action. If we can make an agreement to meet in the middle and start with the $10.10 an hour, then that'd be okay rather than the 15. I would call this a win for people who agree with me. Now, if you disagree with me and think we need to have a high pay raise, then think about your friends and family members who have small businesses. Their small businesses would be destroyed if we had $15 an hour. But one question, how can we make this call to action actually become an act of doing? Well, we can start by signing a petition and get this topic noticed by lawmakers in our cities. If we can get noticed by our mayors, the governors, and then make it to the president, then we can make it convincing to our president to have him or her change the bill. Surely this cannot happen overnight, but this can help millions of people who need a slight change to happen without having problems economically.